Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Gilman, and I'm going to show you today how to use Easybib.com so that you will get a 100 on your Works Cited pages and make the research process so much easier. So this tutorial is going to focus on the bibliography part of the research process using Easybib. Before we head to Easybib, I wanted to show you first our Media Center website, which you can get to from the school's main page by clicking on Directory and then clicking on Media Center. Or you can just head to prhsmediacenter.com. When you're there, if you click on Research Resources and then Handouts and Tutorials, that's going to give you a lot of resources that will help you with the research process and will help you with Easybib. You'll see on the left-hand side there's handouts that you can download. Easybib actually has its own YouTube channel where it goes into detail about all of the other features of Easybib. And then if you keep scrolling down, you've got this slide share presentation that you can click through that shows you how to create a new project and all of that fun stuff that we're going to go over today. And then you'll see the video, the actual video you're watching right now is also on here. How to set up your paper in MLA format. So there's lots of resources here available to you so that when you get to the research process or you're playing around with Easybib later on, you've got all of these things to help you. So with that said, you should be at a computer. If you will head to easybib.com, and once you get to Easybib, some of you may already have an account, so you can go ahead and log in. Hopefully you'll remember your password. If not, it'll prompt you to click forget your password. For those of you guys who are brand new to Easybib, let's go ahead and click on register. And then go ahead and fill out this information. So as I'm filling this out, you are as well. And then choose a password. You probably want to write this password down. And then coupon code we're going to leave blank. And once you do that, go ahead and click register. Okay, once you've registered, you'll be automatically logged in. And if this is your first time, if you're registering and this is your first time, you will have to confirm your email. So you may want to take a second, pause the video, and confirm your email so that you're able to use all of the features of Easybib. So Gwinnett County pays for premium features for Easybib, so as long as you log in from a school computer, then you're automatically granted the features of taking notes, which we'll have another tutorial video on that, and a few other fun features. So since I already had an account, I went ahead and logged into my account, and you will see that I have a lot of projects going on here. So anytime that you have a research paper, you will create a new project. So you can see that I've done this for all of these different research projects that keep track of my bibliography. I have different notes. So you can see each of my projects has a different name. So for this research paper, let's go ahead and together click Create a New Project. And call this project, you may want to ask your teacher what to call it, but something that you'll know what it is. So I'm doing research on recycling. And I'm going to use MLA 7, which is already checked for me. MLA 7 is what we use here at Peachtree Ridge High School. When you get to college or grad school, you may be using APA, so you'll just ask your teacher what format. So we'll go ahead and make sure MLA 7 is chosen. And then I'm going to hit Create Project. Now, if this is your very first time using Easybib, your project will appear at the top. If not, you're going to have to scroll down through all of your other projects that you've done, and there is your project right there. So this tutorial is going to focus on how to create a bibliography using Easybib. Now, bibliography, which we know is called a Works Cited page, is very important in your research paper because it lets your teacher see all of the sources that you use in your paper. So let's go ahead and click on bibliography, and it will take you to this page where you've got all of these different choices. So I'm going to show you some of the choices that you will probably use in this paper. The first and most popular choice is a website. So if you have you see all these different tabs, website is clicked right there, and I'm going to show you an example of how you would use a website and put it into your bibliography. So what I've done is I have used sweetsearch.com or WebPath Express through our databases rather than Google to find a credible source. So the thing with sweetsearch.com is that anything is, it looks like a search engine, and I'll go ahead and open up a new tab and show you what that looks like. But it will give you anything you find is a credible website. So I recommend going there rather than Google to find your sources first if you have to use a website. So I found this article and I've read it and I've decided this is an awesome article and I definitely want to use this in my paper. So once I find a website that I want to use, all I have to do is copy the URL and then head back to my Easybib, and I'm just going to paste it right in here. Paste the URL in there. And then I'm going to click Cite This, and I'm going to see if Easybib can find some of this information for me. Okay, so once I click Cite This, it will tell me right here, is this source credible? If it says it's credible, I'm good to go. If it says maybe credible, then I probably want to click Learn More, and it's going to tell me all of this information. Is it biased? Is it current? Is everything up to date? So Easybib finds this for you, and it will also give you, okay, here's how you figure out if something is credible. Here's some questions to ask yourself. So that's a good resource to use because you want to make sure you're only using credible resources in your paper. So Easybib will try to find as much information as it can. Now sometimes when you put in a website, all of these will be blank down here, which means they couldn't find anything. But for the most part, it will scrape the metadata of the website and find what it can. So it will give me the article title. Now you want to go back and check and make sure this is right. Is the article title Keep Atlanta Beautiful at Buckhead Recycling Site? So I'm going to go back here. Yes, that is the title. Good job, Easybib. Now it's going to say author. Now it couldn't find the author. It's asking me if I can. So I'm going to go back to the website. I'm going to scroll up and down. I'm going to see if I can find an author. You'll see they list the author right here. So if I can find the author, I'm going to go ahead and put that into my Easybib account. So the first name was Jeremiah and the last name was McWilliams. So I'm going to type that in. And then it's going to say, is this really the title of the website? Atlanta News, Sports, Atlanta Weather, Business News. Is that the title of the website? So I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to see, yes, that looks like that is the title of the website. Good job, Easybib. And then it says, hey, I can't find the publisher, so can you find it for me? So you're going to go back to the website. Now, with the publisher, what you're looking for, usually it's at the top, typically at the bottom, you're looking for a little copyright sign. Okay, so copyright 2013 Cox Media Group is the name of the publisher. So when you see that copyright sign, the name next to that would be the publisher. So once I find that, I'm going to type in Cox Media Group, and then it's going to automatically populate the URL. So with the URL, typically MLA says you don't have to include it, so you could click no, but you want to ask your teacher. A lot of times teachers like you to keep it in there so they can track your source. Then it's going to ask you, hey, when was this electronically published? So you're going to go back to the article, scroll up and down, kind of look around, see if you can find it. Looks like it was published on June 20th, 2012. So you want to do 20 June 2012. Now, a good rule to follow here is if the website has been published more than 10 years ago, then you probably don't want to use it. You want to make sure that your information is fairly current. And then it will automatically populate the date that you accessed it. Here's another button you can click here where you can evaluate the website, and then you can click Create. So once you've filled out as much of this as you can, you click Create, and just like magic, it will appear right here, automatically in MLA format. Now, if you use this source in your paper, you're going to have to cite it parenthetically, which if you don't know what that means, we have a research tutorial on our Media Center website that explains how to do that. So when you take something from this source, you put it in your paper, you're going to have to cite it using these parenthetical citations. So if you click on parenthetical right here, it'll show you, hey, this is what you're going to put in your paper. You can just copy and paste that into your paper. You may need to put an identifier. If there's a page number, you would put page number 5, and that's what it would look like in your paper. So that's kind of a cool feature if you forget how to cite parenthetically. And you can actually, you can edit your citation later if you're like, hey, no, that wasn't the right publishing company, let me go and change that. And you can delete it if you decide not to use it in your paper, or you want to go ahead and delete it. So now we have one source on our Works Cited page, and we know that we want to put more than one. When we're writing a research paper, we really want more than one source. So we have a few other options here. We can keep using websites, or you could click on the book tab, and you can actually search for the name of the book by typing it in. If you have a smartphone, you can actually download the Easybib app and scan the barcode on the back, and it will add that to your Works Cited page. Or you can use the ISBN number, which is the number located usually above the barcode, or on the inside cover it'll say ISBN. Okay, so I have a book in front of me called Reduce, Reuse, Recycle. So I'm going to click in here, I'm going to type in Reduce, Reuse, Recycle, and I'm going to see what comes up. Now when I search, I may have several different results, and sometimes the results would be the same title and the same author because you have different publications. So I would look inside my book, I'd make sure that this is the author, I'd make sure that that's when it was published, and I'd find the correct one. Now remember, you can search for books in our media catalog, which on your desktop there'll be an icon that says media catalog, and also in your student portal to see what we have available, and then find those books in the library and check them out. So I've got this book, I know it's the right one, I'm going to hit select, and then Easybib is going to populate the data, so I'm going to check and make sure, are those the authors? Yes. Is that the title? Do I see a volume, an edition, a series? I look on the outside behind the title page, I don't see one. Is that the publication information? So I look for the little copyright symbol on the inside of usually behind the title page or on the title page. Is that where it was published? I check these things just to be sure, and then I hit create, and just like magic it will appear right here. Here is my book. Now you may be asking yourself, how do I cite a book in my paper that has two authors? So you can just click parenthetical right here, and you'll see when you have two authors, you put the last name of both authors with an and in the middle. Now with a book, you want to make sure you include the page number. Like say you got one fact from page 8, then that's what you would put in your paper, and you can just copy paste that. So that is how you would cite a book. And the next thing I'm going to show you is if you click on all 59 options, you have all of these other options that you can choose from to cite your sources. Now, if you're completely confused and you're like, I don't know what this source is, I don't know if is it a federal testimony, is it a photograph, is it a report, is it a dissertation, I'm not sure. If you click right here where it says help, it tells you, okay, here's what a website article is, here's what an online newspaper is. So if you're not sure, go here and see if you can figure out what kind of source it is. But the other main thing that you will be using with research is the write paste citation, especially when you're using the databases, which I'm about to show you. So everyone say this, all 59 options, write paste citation. Okay, I didn't hear you. All 59 options, write paste citation. Okay, you're going to remember that because sometimes when you go to the databases, it will give you the works cited information already formatted, and all you have to do is copy and paste it. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to show you the databases, which hopefully you've used before. If you log into your portal, it will look somewhat similar to how a teacher portal looks, but you'll see something that says Online Research Library, and then you'll see something that says passwords. Also, when you're on the Media Center website, click here to access the databases, and here they are. So you have all these different options, and this is a great place to start with your research because it does a lot of the work for you. Now, the county spends thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for you to have these credible sources, so you want to make sure that you're using them, but that also means that if you try to get to them from home, you're going to need a password. So you see as you scroll through these databases, you have all these different choices depending on what kinds of research you're looking at. And you see some of these have this cute little Galileo symbol next to it. And that means that it's going to take the Galileo password. So you can get copies of these passwords from the portal by clicking that passwords button, and you'll see Galileo, there's the password. Or you can get hard copies of them from the Media Center. So here are the databases, and I am going to start with, I think I'm going to start with an encyclopedia. So You've got also up at the top WebPath Express. If you really like that, you got to Google, but you shouldn't. WebPath Express is very similar to Sweet Search. It will give you websites. But I'm going to scroll down to, let's see, and some sort of encyclopedia. I'm going to try Encyclopedia Britannica. Okay, when I click on Encyclopedia Britannica, it brings me here, and then I can search up here. So I'm going to search for recycling. Now you want to play around with different search terms. You can do what's called a Boolean search, where you can do an advanced search and search for things that and, or, and not, which we'll get into in another research lesson. But let's say that I find this article right here. I've done a lot of reading, and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm going to use this in my paper. So you'll see the databases have these cool little tools at the top or toward the bottom. Each database is different, but you're looking for a tool that says Cite or looks like a Cite icon. Okay, so in this database, looks like their tools are up here. So I'm going to click on the one that's Cite, and look, it gives you that information already. So all you have to do is copy that source, and then you go back to Easybib, and you click on all 59 options, right paste citation, and then you just paste it on in there. Now you'll see that you'll check and make sure that formatting isn't weird, bold, unbold, right? You want this to be capitalized. You're going to do a few changes here. Sometimes the italicizing won't carry over, so you'll have to go back to the original and see, okay, what is italicized here? Britannica School is italicized. So then I go back to Easybib, I highlight what's supposed to be italicized, and I click on italic. And then I can keep the URL in there if my teacher wants me to. And then I hit create, and just like magic, it will appear down right here. Now you may be asking yourself, how do I cite something when there is no author? Well, you always cite something by taking the first item that's listed, which in this case is the title. So let's click on parenthetical and let's see what happens. Notice how it says Easybib is unable to format parenthetical citations for custom sources. So that's kind of a downfall, is when you click on parenthetical, it won't tell you how to cite it. But you know that you just take the first thing listed, and this is what you would put in the parentheses in your paper. Okay? So I have so far 3 sources. Another option for finding sources is you've got this research tab. And this is kind of cool. It allows you to look through other people's Works Cited pages, and it will tell you if the source is credible or not. So I can type in recycling, hit search, and notice when I scroll down, okay, it says, yes, this is credible. This doesn't say anything. I'm not even going to touch anything that says maybe credible. I only want the credible stuff. So let's say I go to this article, I read it, I decide I want to use it. I can just click Cite this, and then go to the manual entry, fill out all of this information, as much of it as I can, and then create citation, and then it will appear on my Works Cited page. Okay, the last part of your bibliography is the fun part. You can export this, print it as a Word document. So this is the last step you're going to take. Once you have all of the sources that you need on your in your Easybib, and you're not going to find any more, you click Export, you print as a Word document, click here to download, give it a few seconds. You guys are about to get so excited, I can feel it. And look what happens. I have this Works Cited page. It is already in ABC order, already hanging indent. Beautiful. That is a 100 right there, so long as I cite all of these sources in my paper. So what I would do once I export my Works Cited page is I would go ahead and set up my paper in MLA format. And my Works Cited page is going to be the last page of my paper. So I'm going to type in my name. I'm going to type in my teacher's name. I'm going to type in the class. Say this is a CP Language Arts class. And then I'm going to type in the date the paper's due. So let's say this is due the 30th of August, 2013, in that weird format. I'm going to center my text. I'm going to give it a creative title. And then I'm going to change my special indentation to none, because it automatically sets at hanging. So I just click this button, make it none so that it's not hanging. And then I indent, and I'm ready to start my awesome paper after I do my my note taking, which there's another video on that, my outlining and all of that stuff. I also want to make sure that I add a page number, so I go up here to Insert, and I go to Page Number, Top of Page, and then I'll click on the plain number 3, and then I'll type in my last name, space, and then I'll hit this close right here. So that's going to number my pages, and then I'm going to start typing my paper, and then my Works Cited page will appear on the top of the last page of my paper. So when I get to the end of my paper, I'll make sure this is on the last page, and then I'm ready to go. So then I'll save this to my H drive, and I am good to go. So that should be a 100 right there on your Works Cited page. Okay, and a couple more things I want to show you real quick is you can actually share your Works Cited page. Say you want to share it with your teacher. You can email the bibliography to your teacher, invite others to work on the bibliography if you're doing a group project, share it as a public link. And then another thing to watch out for with Easybib is as Easybib is growing, there's some databases such as ABC Clio that have a little button in there that says, once you find an article, export to Easybib. And this is kind of cool because when you click the export to Easybib, as long as you have your Easybib open, it'll add it to your Works Cited page. So be on the lookout for that. That's another way to cite a database if it has that option. Otherwise, just remember all 59, write paste citation. With research, first step, find a credible source. We do a lot of reading, a lot of researching. Once you find a source you want to use, you add it to your bibliography, depending on what type of source it is. And then once you add it to your bibliography, you're ready to start taking some notes. And that is what the next tutorial is going to focus on, is how to take notes using Easybib and how to make an outline using Easybib. It's super fast and easy, and it's going to make the paper writing a lot simpler. Also, don't forget about this citation guide right here. This is really neat in that if you forget what a parenthetical citation is, if you forget what a paraphrase is, you can click on Student Resources, and you've got these research guides, how to tell if you're plagiarizing, how to write a paper. So there's some really good stuff here as well. And also, don't forget about that Media Center website. So if you have any questions about research or Easybib, just stop by the Media Center to see Mrs. Gilman. Otherwise, have fun researching and good luck. Thanks.